Hey all, weather here for liveweatherblogs.com, and once again, busy day here with the thunderstorms out here in the Central Plains. Kansas City getting hit pretty good. Pretty good line here in Iowa right now, and here's your front, if you would, marching this way with a pretty strong upper low with it as it moves and cruises this way. As this upper level cruises this way, you can already see the big outbreak right now of thunderstorms real close to Green Bay, moving into north central Michigan. Will be the emphasis on the focus point for severe weather. This area here will be under the gun first, and this will move over into southeastern um, Canada later on tonight, probably between 11 and 4 a.m., and then over into New York State. Um, there will be quite a bit of severe weather tomorrow. Looks like New York State is going to be really under the gun. Central and northwestern Pennsylvania, northern Ohio especially, could be under the gun with some severe weather tomorrow. I'm going to show you that right in a moment with the convective outlooks. Um, Everything seems to be marching right along to the east here. If you're in northern Michigan, around the Green Bay area, over toward the thumb of Michigan, over into southeastern Canada tonight, be on the lookout for damaging winds, hail. There's always that outside threat of a tornado, as this jet stream will be blasting in across the air. Just be on the lookout for that, and be careful and have flashlights ready in case your neighborhood loses power. If you're in, again, southeastern Canada, north central Michigan, and over here toward Green Bay. So be on the lookout. There are other renegade showers and thunderstorms out here in central Indiana and Ohio. This is kind of out of the head of the main line, if you would. The upper level ridge is sitting here, and it's kind of clockwise flow is kind of giving that ring around the fire. It's actually probably developed on the boundary, maybe left over behind yesterday's derecho that raced this way yesterday. Let's go to the Storm Prediction Center. This is tomorrow's outlook. There is a moderate risk right now. Extreme eastern Indiana, most, if not all, of central Ohio, most of western and central Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania, northwest New Jersey, very close to the New York City area. You'll probably be on the waning edge of the severe weather. And if you're in the Albany area, look out. This area right here is going to be the focal point for very strong severe thunderstorms. Let's look at the probabilistic probabilities that severe weather will hit your neighborhood. And again, the same area is 45% is a very high number in terms of getting hit by severe weather. If you're in cities like Cincinnati, Columbus, Youngstown, Ohio, Erie, Pittsburgh, State College, Du Bois, Scranton, Allentown, New York City, uh, up here in Connecticut, Albany, Binghamton, Elmira, and south of Syracuse. You're in this area tomorrow. Be on the very much be on the lookout for some severe weather with damaging winds. Now, while this area seems to be the concentration, probably the most probable severe weather is going to be in this area here, one area here, and another one back in here. So just have to see where they fire. Right now they're up in this area, so they're moving off of the east southeast. You draw a line, and this area may be under the gun very early in the morning, and then we'll see new development later on in the day out in western Pennsylvania. Notice that as you move south and east, things tail off very quickly over here in the Philadelphia to Baltimore over to the coast. The reason why that is because the front will be orienting like this, and what happens is you get a very strong west northwesterly flow aloft and a west southwesterly flow at the surface. While there is some shear, there will be a lot of downsloping off the Appalachians, which will tend to dry out the dew points and may weaken the storms as they move toward the Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington area. That'll be an hour by hour thing, but it is something you'll have to take a look at. Obviously, you're in New York City. These storms will probably blast in from the west, and south of there, south of Allentown toward Philadelphia, we may be looking at the storms weakening as they move away from their energy source, number one, and number two, the downsloping winds off the mountains could dry things out and stabilize things to a degree. Let's take a look at the NAM here. And the NAM here has it at 00 UTC later in the day tomorrow. Has the line going from New York City down for Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and down to Pittsburgh. Looks like a very formidable line, but if you put this into motion, look what happens. hey, there's not much left. From 8 o'clock it moves, and then toward 11 o'clock at midnight toward the Philadelphia region. From Philadelphia points north and east, there's just a waning line of showers and thunderstorms. So we'll see what happens, and it goes into Friday, and you can see one line goes through, and then maybe we start to get things going again later in the day on Friday. So we'll see what happens, but this is pretty solid in terms of severe weather tomorrow, so be on the lookout. I'm very sure that there'll be severe weather watches in the morning, especially in this area. I wouldn't rule it out in Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, but these storms will probably weaken as they move south and east over time. Right now, we have some severe thunderstorm warning watches going on in north central Michigan and toward Green Bay. Much of central Lake Michigan, if you're out in the boat, get away from the water, get on shore there. They need to stretch back into just south and east of Minneapolis and into Iowa. Look for these watches to spread east, probably into New York State overnight. These storms will more likely hold together as they move in this direction across southeastern Canada and Ontario here. So be on the lookout for severe weather there as well. Again, here's your local look right now. Things are moving right along. Look for this piece of energy to swing off to the east, and when that happens, look for all heck to break loose in terms of showers and thunderstorms and severe weather. This will just race off to the east-southeast. New York City is under the gun. Allentown points north and west, I would say, from there. Draw a line right about here. The five-county Philadelphia area is where the storms will probably approach. Look very, very threatening, but hopefully they will weaken as is modeled by the models here. I wanted to leave you with this little critter out here. This is Invest 98L, and we put this into motion. This is from weatherunderground.com, and look at that. Real tight spiral, cranking north-northeast at 34 miles per hour. It looked like it was really organized there. Now this is really far north, and this is as of 2 p.m. was at 43.8 north, and I was surmised that it's probably in the 44.4 north now. And if you look at the computer models here, the computer models actually send toward Greenland, some of them, so that's very interesting. There's all that talk about the glacial ice melt up there. Wouldn't it be something if a remnant tropical system went up there and caused a lot of rain? You see a couple of the models when it sent it off to the east, which is also probable, but right now it's heading off in this direction. So we'll see what happens. Again, let's take a look at that again. That's a pretty formidable little circulation out there that developed northeast of Bermuda. They're racing off to the north-northeast at 34 miles per hour. This is no threat at all to the United States, obviously. And this will probably just produce some heavy squally rains as it approaches Greenland from the south or southwest. Amazing stuff. Again, a big story tomorrow will be the moderate threat for severe weather. The probabilistic threat of severe weather is pretty good right here in the 45% range, especially if you're in central New York State, Albany, Binghamton, Elmira, down to State College, Du Bois, Pittsburgh, and also including New York City and western Connecticut. Be on the lookout for very severe weather. Damaging winds and hail will be the main threat. Also, the possibility of isolated tornadoes. There is a little bit of shear, and you got quite a bit of jet stream coming crashing down across the Great Lakes here. For more information, check out Mike DeFino's blog as well. He's got some good stuff there, and be safe tomorrow, and I'll be having an update later on, perhaps as early as tonight to see what the models come in with, but definitely throughout the day tomorrow. This is Wild Weather here for LiveWeatherBlogs.com. Everyone have a great night.